Hi students, welcome back to the class. And today we are going to discuss the synopsis things of capacitance or concept of capacitor. Okay, here we have the discussion concept of capacitance and Van de Graaff generator. This also comes under in electrostatic only. Okay, these are the points we are going to discuss here, right? Okay, let us discuss one by one. See, basically, behavior of conductors in the electrostatic field. Behavior of conductors. Okay, behavior of conductors in electrostatic field. See, just I'm going to concentrate on the formula. Anyhow, just quickly once I'm revising everything. Okay, net electric field intensity in the interior of the conductor will be zero. This is behavior of conductor. By discussing all the theoretical part, we came to know that the net electric field intensity in the interior of the conductor will be zero. Interior of the conductor net electric field intensity. You may observe here, right? This is okay. So here you concentrate, net electrostatic field inside the conductor is zero. Net electrostatic field inside the conductor is zero. It is okay. Next, second point, electric field just outside the charged conductor is perpendicular to the surface of conductor. Yes, we know that. This also comes under in properties of electric field. Electric field just outside the charged conductor is perpendicular to the surface of a conductor, right? Like this, just outside. It is perpendicular to the surface of conductor. It is right. Okay, and important thing is you concentrate here. Important thing is there is no surface current in the electrostatics. So theta is equal to 90 degree and cos of 90 equal to 0. That you concentrate here. So, right? Okay. I'm not much concentrating on theoretical part. Right? Okay. Uh, this is say net charge in the interior of the conductor is 0. Net charge. Net charge. If net charge is 0 and net electric field also 0, that already we have discussed in the first point. So here net charge in the interior of the conductor is 0. Interior of the conductor, because equal number of positive and negative charges will be present in the conductor, so that it will be net charge is 0. So the charges are temporarily separated. The total charge of the system is 0. It is total charge of the system is 0. So like this, just you have to observe with this sentence. So phi is equal to say integral flux to the overall surface E into ds. Flux phi is equal to E into ds. We know this. That is equal to Q divided by epsilon. Since if net charge, if charge is equal to 0, then electric field also 0. Right? Field lines come from charges only. If there is no charge, there is no electric field interior of the conductor. Therefore, Q is equal to 0. It is. Right? Okay, next. Charge always resides on the surface of the conductor. We know this, right? You have to remember. It will help for the direct theoretical based concept based questions, right? Okay. Suppose a conductor is given some excess of charge Q, right? Con say construct a Gaussian surface just inside the conductor. Since E is equal to 0 in the interior of the conductor, therefore Q is equal to 0 inside the conductor. Right? Okay, next point. Electric potential constructs for the entire conductor. Electric potential constant for the entire conductor. dV is equal to minus E into dr. We know this relation. E is equal to minus dV by dr, relation between electric field intensity and potential. We have derived this, right? Since E is equal to 0 or dV is equal to 0, then V is equal to constant, right? If there is no change in the potential, change in the potential, if it is equal to 0, then V is constant to that surface. See, see here, if E is equal to 0, then dV by dr is equal to 0. Then again dV is equal to, you will get 0 only. So if dV, change in the potential equal to 0 means V is equal to constant. Right? Theoretical based questions ಅಲ್ಲಿ help ಆಗ್ತದ್ರಿ ಇದು. Right? Okay. Next. Surface charge distribution may be different at different points. So surface charge density sigma is equal to Q divided by S. Say every conductor is an equipotential volume. Every conductor have an equipotential volume that is three-dimensional rather than just an equipotential surface two-dimensional it is, right? So just you may observe this here figure minimum and here it will be maximum. It is depend on the position on the surface. Say at this point, at this position or at this point, density is maximum. At this point, density is minimum. It is on a particular area how many number of charges are present. That decides the density of that particular point or surface. Okay, electrical capacitance. This is our important concept started from this electrical capacitance. Say, capacitance is the measure of the ability of a conductor to store the charges is known as capacitance, right? We know this. So that see capacitance is nothing but ability of a conductor to store the charges. So that is what electrical capacitance. How many number of electric charges that the conductor can store, that we call electrical capacitance. That is what capacity of that capacitor or conductor. So here number of charges stored in the conductor is directly proportional to potential it is. So as the number of charges is stored, say as we increase the number of charges in a conductor, potential goes on increases. Potential of that conductor goes on increases. So Q is directly proportional to V. So as we increase the number of charges in a conductor, potential of that conductor goes on increases. So as we remove the proportionality, Q is equal to CV. C is the constant, right? So capacitance C is equal to Q divided by V. V is equal to 1 volt, then C is equal to Q you will get. So C is equal to Q if V is equal to 1 volt, right? Okay, capacitance of a conductor is defined as the charge required to rise its potential through 1 unit, right? Okay, here he has given the symbol in the SI units and some definition also he has given. Just you may go through this. Okay, we'll go for the next. Okay. Okay, see here. Okay, see capacitance of an. Okay, I think we have skipped a slide. Wait. Okay, here this page we have discussed, no? Okay, next. Okay, see here. Okay, capacitance of an isolated spherical conductor. Okay, see, here we are going to discuss capacitance of isolated spherical conductor. Let us assume this is our spherical conductor here and radius r, charge having q. Okay, potential at any point on the surface, we know that expression already we have done. V is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon R. This is our potential formula to find the potential at any point on the surface of a conductor. So at the same time, C is equal to Q divided by V. So that C is equal to 4 pi epsilon R. This is what capacitance of an isolated spherical conductor if R is the radius of conductor. This formula we have to use, right? Okay. Next, see here the important thing is capacitance of a spherical conductor is directly proportional to the radius only. It is capacitance. See, as the radius increases, that means size of the conductor increases. It is so as the size of the conductor increases, it can store maximum number of charges. As the size of the conductor is small, it can store small amount of charges. So number of charges stored in it, it is directly depend on the radius of the conductor only. It is that is first point. It is the above equation is true for conducting spheres, hollow and solid, right? If the sphere is in a medium, if it is in a medium, then C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught to epsilon R into R. Next, capacitance of the earth is 711 microfarad. This is the capacitance of the earth. You have to remember this. It may help in direct questions. Next, okay, this is principle of capacitance. It is totally theoretical based. It is, and we'll go for the next. Okay, here our important discussion is the capacitance of parallel plate capacitor, right? See here we have the arrangement of a parallel plate capacitor here, and this is positively charged, negatively charged, and electric field will set up between the two plates, electric field, right? Okay, here we know that V is equal to E into D, and that is equal to sigma divided by epsilon into D. We can write this, right? So by doing this procedure, capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor is C is equal to A epsilon divided by D. This is our formula to find the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. C is equal to A epsilon divided by D. D is what? Distance between the two plates. A is the area of the plates. So you need to remember capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor is directly proportional to area and it is inversely proportional to 1 divided by D. It is right. Okay, that is one thing. It is if say if the space between the plates is filled with dielectric medium, then what is meant by dielectric? Dielectric means it's a non-conducting medium. We will discuss later about this, but just you should know this. It is a non-conducting medium. So if you insert the non-conducting medium between the two plates, then formula becomes C is equal to A epsilon naught epsilon R divided by D. Okay, here he has given the conditions of capacitance of parallel plate capacitor, that is directly proportional to area and inversely proportional to separation between them, right? Okay. Next, say if those capacitors, say this is what symbol of capacitor we know, such capacitors, say if this is a single capacitor, then capacitance of capacitor C is equal to A epsilon by D. We have done this. If we have number of capacitor and those capacitors we can grouping in a two different manner. One is series and another one is parallel. So if we connect the capacitors in a series, this is our circuit diagram. Here we have connected the three capacitors in series and we have given the potential V. This potential is divided into all the capacitors. V1, V2, V3 is the different potential for the different capacitors, and here due to the induced effect, number of charges will settle on each plate is equal. It is so that in a series connection, Q is same for all the capacitor and potential is different for different capacitors. We should know this. So everything we have here. So V is equal to, so that here we need to define potential because potential is different for different capacitor. So V I have given that V is divided into all the capacitors, right? V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So we know that V is equal to Q by C and V1, V2, V3 we can define so that see V means Q by C. This equation becomes like this. Just to substitute the values and here we got 1 by C is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. Right? Okay, this is the formula to find the capacitance of a capacitor when they are connected in series. Right? You have to remember reciprocal of the effective capacitance of the sum of the reciprocal of the individual capacitance, right? Okay, if the same number of capacitors if you are going to grouping in a parallel manner, then what is the formula? Let us see. Okay, now the capacitors I am going to connect in a parallel. So here I have given the potential. See here all the capacitors they are directly linked with the potential from the battery or potential what we call. This potential is directly linked with this, say these all the capacitors are directly connected with the potential. So potential is same in a parallel. You have to remember in a series Q is same for all the capacitor. V is different. In parallel in parallel Q is different, opposite of that series. Q is different, V is same. You have to remember this, right? And here we have the formula for that. So here Q is different means we have to define Q. Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3, and we know that Q is equal to CV. From that Q1, Q2, Q3 I am going to define. So just to substitute. So this equation become this. So C is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. This is the formula to find the capacitance of a capacitor when they are connected in a parallel. Right? Okay. Next. Energy stored in a capacitor. The process of charging a capacitor is equivalent to transferring charges from one plate to the other of the capacitor, right? Energy stored in a capacitor. Anyhow, how, say if there is, say here we have the parallel plate capacitor, there will be a electric field will set up between the two plates. If there is electric field, then energy will store. So then what is the energy in a parallel plate capacitor? So say here we have defined the work done or that potential energy equal to V into dq just by doing this mathematical steps. Finally we got energy is equal to half CV square or energy is equal to Q square divided by 2C or Q into C. Q into V, it is half Q into V. So this is our formula to find the energy stored in a parallel plate capacitor. Previous what we have discussed previously, capacitance of capacitor for a single capacitor, for grouping of capacitors we have done. Now energy stored in a capacitor this is. This is a single capacitor, and this is the formula to find the energy stored in this capacitor, right? Okay, similarly, energy density. Say energy density, we know that energy stored U is equal to half CV square, but C is equal to, we know this, right? And V is equal to also we know. So with the help of these two, U is equal to half epsilon AD E square it becomes, and at the same time U by AD is equal to half epsilon E square, or this I can also written as U is equal to half epsilon naught E square it is. This is what our energy density. Energy density. This is very important. You have to remember this direct formula. We no need to remember this and this procedure. This is actually expression derivation, and finally we need to remember this. U is equal to half epsilon naught E square, right? So these relations also we will use in some situations. It is depend on the given data it is, right? These relations also we will use, but final expression is energy density. This is right. Okay. SI unit of energy density is generalized as energy per unit volume of the field. It is energy stored in a series. See, up to here, energy stored in a parallel capacitor and energy density we have done. If we have a grouping of capacitor in series or parallel, well, then what is the energy? So energy stored in series combination. Energy stored in series combination. This is the formula. We know this. We know this already. We have obtained this. And U is equal to half Q square by CV. We know this, right? With the help of this, U is equal to, say, 1 by C. Q square, I will keep it as it is here, Q square. 1 by C means here we have 1 by C value. So just I will substitute here, right? So U is equal to U1 plus U2 plus U3 dash dash dash. This is the energy stored in a series combination, right? Okay. Similarly, energy stored in a parallel. We know this, we have obtained, and this is energy formula. From the energy formula only we can get the energy in parallel. Okay, so just I will keep this V square as it is, substitute the value of C. So that C1 plus C2 plus C3 I have substituted here. This you got U is equal to U1 plus U2 plus U3. Just to compare with this previous, right? Just to compare this. See, here also we got U is equal to U1 plus U2 plus U3 plus dash dash UN, and in the next, in parallel also, see, here also we got U1 plus U2 plus U3. Just you remember this, right? Energy stored in series and parallel expression we got same, but capacitance stored in series and parallel is different. It is, we have to remember, right? Okay, next, loss of energy on sharing the charges between the capacitors in parallel. Loss of energy on sharing the charges in parallel capacitors. Okay, see, consider two capacitors of capacitance C1, C2, and charges Q1, Q2 we are having here, and potential V1, V2. Total charges after sharing is equal to total charges before sharing. After sharing is equal to before sharing. So charges, this is what it is, charge Q is equal to C into V, we have two capacitors, so C1 plus C2 I have written, and potential V is equal to total charges before sharing, that you remember, before sharing it will be C1 V1 plus C2 V2, C1 V1 plus C2 V2, it is before sharing it is. After sharing, potential is common for the two capacitors, right? So C1 plus C2 individual capacitance into V, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 it is. So finally we got this. This is the formula to find the loss of energy. And here finally we will get potential V is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. With the help of this loss of energy on sharing, with the help of this, we can find the potential or loss of energy, right? Okay. Next, total energy before sharing is, say, this is before sharing, half C1 V1 square plus C2 V2 square. Total energy after sharing, you observe, after sharing it is half C1 plus C2 into V square. You have to remember, right? Okay, finally, from both the equations, we can write this, right? These are the two conditions. Okay, next. Now, important thing is that is all about capacitance. Capacitance and energy stored in a capacitor. That is all about we have done. Now, next concept is comes under in dielectrics. Under that, polar molecules and non-polar molecules we are going to discuss here. As we all know, polar molecules. The name itself indicates pole means that molecule having two poles, plus and minus. This is positive pole, this is negative pole, right? So molecule in which the center of positive charge does not coincide with the center of negative charge is called polar molecule. Positive and negative here will not coincide. So therefore we call it is polar. It is having different poles. This molecule having two poles. One is positive and another is negative. Here we have the examples you may observe, right? And here he has the figure also, right? Okay. Effect of electric field on a polar molecules. See, this is the dielectric substance, and this is these molecules are polar molecules here. These molecules are polar molecules here, having two poles. See, in the absence of external electric field, the permanent dipole of the molecule orient in a random directions. In a random direction, only orient ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ, right? So, net dipole moment will be zero here. P, net dipole moment. When it is in the absence of electric field, net dipole moment is zero because all the molecules orient in random directions. Hence, net dipole moment is zero. So, in the presence of electric field, the dipole moment is induced. So, dipole moment is induced. That means all the molecules they will orient themselves in regular fashion and hence dipole moment is induced here. For example, say this is positive, this is negative, positive, positive, negative, and like this. Randomly they will orient. Say, when I will give the electric field to it, see, electric field is coming towards the substance means positive charge is moving, that is nothing but. So, negative pole will come towards the electric field and positive pole of the molecule move away from the electric field direction. So that in this manner all the molecules will orient. Here this is the direction of electric field. Almost all the negatives are towards the electric field direction and all the positive are away from the electric field. And one thing you remember, this alignment is complete alignment is not possible due to the thermal agitation, right? Almost all the molecules will orient. This you have to remember, right? Okay, next. Similarly, non-polar. Non-polar molecules, a molecule in which center of positive and negative charge coincide. That means if this is the molecule, if this is the molecule, center of positive is coincide with center of negativities. So when I will send the electric field, what happen? Polar, non-polar become polar. So negative towards the electric field and positive move away from the electric field. So that non-polar become a polar. This is the figure you have to observe, right? This is in the absence of electric field. This is in the presence of electric field. How polar, non-polar becomes polar. That you have to try to understand, right? This is regarding non-polar. Okay, next. Next comes dielectrics. Dielectrics generally non-conducting medium or insulator is called dielectrics. See, polarization of dielectrics. When non-polar dielectric slab is subjected to an electric field, dipoles are induced due to the separation of effective positive and negative charges. That is what polarization of a dielectrics, right? Okay, one thing you remember, the net, the field is reduced when dielectric slab is introduced. Field is reduced. That you have to remember, it helpful for the concept based questions. And electric constant formula is here. K is equal to E naught divided by E naught minus EP. Here E naught is the applied field, EP is the induced field. EP is the induced field. Here we have the figure. Here we have applied the electric field in this manner. This is positively charged, this is negatively charged. Electric field is present from here to here in the dielectric. And E naught is what it is given, or applied field it is E naught. This E naught is applied, and this EP is induced field it is, or polarized electric field what we call it is, right? So here we have K value, that you have to remember this K. Next, polarization vector. This is not much important for us. Say polarization vector. Polarization vector measures the degree of polarization of the dielectric. So it is defined as the dipole moment of unit volume of the polarized. Here we have the polarized vector, right? Okay, unit also he has given here. This is the dielectric strength. Dielectric strength is the maximum value of the electric field intensity that can be applied to that dielectric without electric breakdown. That is dielectric strength. I hope you know this definition, right? So, how dielectric strength is different for different mediums. Here we have the table. Just you go through this, right? And you have to remember it will helpful for the numericals. This is dielectric K values. Okay, we'll go for the next. Okay, capacitance of parallel plate capacitor with dielectric slab. With dielectric slab. Okay, capacitance of parallel plate capacitor. See, these are the things we didn't discuss in the theoretical concept. Even we have to know this. We have to remember V is equal to E naught into D. D minus C. Here you have to remember this is the D is the distance between the two plates, and T is the thickness of this slab. So E naught into D it is. V is equal to ED, no? This is the only formula we have taken, plus En into T. En, this is right? Okay, see, K is equal to E naught by En, that is equal to En is equal to E naught by K. So just by doing the mathematical steps, finally we got here expression C is equal to A epsilon into D minus T plus T by K, or next we can also use this and this. C is equal to C naught divided by 1 minus T by D into 1 minus T by K. This is the formula. See, C is greater than C naught, that is the capacitance in, that is capacitance increases with introduction of the dielectric slab. One thing you remember, as we introduce the dielectric, or due to the dielectric slab, field decreases. Field decreases. In the previous slide we have seen this, and due to the dielectric, capacitance capacitance of that capacitor will increases. That means that conductor or the capacitor can sustain maximum electric field, that can sustain maximum without break down the electric field. So that is what capacitance, right? Okay, you have to remember capacitance increases with introduction of the dielectric slab. As we insert the dielectric slab between the two plates, between the two plates, this is positive plate, negative plate. As we insert the dielectric slab between the two plates, the capacitance of capacitor increases, but field will decrease. That you should know. It will be helpful for the direct questions, theoretical based questions. Next, say if the dielectric slab occupies the whole space between the plates, T is equal to D you take, and C is equal to K C naught. Dielectric constant K is equal to C by C naught. Say here we have the table with dielectric slab. See, this is physical quantity: charge, capacitance, electric field, potential difference, energy stored. This is very important chart. It is, you have to remember, with battery disconnected, with battery connected. Say for example, physical quantity charge with battery disconnected remains same. Here increases. Capacitance, for example, increases, right? With dielectric slab, these quantities what happens? Charge what happen? Capacitance what happen? Electric field, potential difference, energy stored, right? Okay, please go through this. We'll go for the next. Right? Okay, students, this is all about the concept of capacitor we have done here. Concept of capacitors we have done up to here. So just you go through this and you have to remember, and finally saying these are the quantities we need to remember. It will helpful for the multiple choice questions in any exam, right? So this is all about the glance of capacitor, or capacitance, what we call. So in the next class we are going to do some numericals based on concept of capacitor and capacitance, right? Okay, thank you.